A dog's unwavering love. Tom was a quiet man who lived alone in a small house at the edge of town. Life hadn't been kind to him. He'd lost his family in a tragic accident, and years of loneliness had made him bitter and distant from people. Most of the townsfolk thought he was cold, but there was one being who didn't see him that way: Max, his golden retriever. Max had been with Tom for 5 years, ever since Tom had found the pup abandoned in a storm. From that day on, Max became Tom's shadow, following him everywhere, wagging his tail even when Tom barely spoke a word. Max didn't care that Tom wasn't affectionate, he loved him unconditionally. One winter evening, Tom slipped on the icy steps outside his house and fell hard, unable to move. He called for help, but no one was around to hear him. The bitter cold began to set in, and Tom felt his strength fading. Max, sensing the danger, sprang into action. The dog barked and howled at the top of his lungs, running to the road and back, trying to get someone's attention. Hours passed, but Max didn't stop. Finally, a passing driver noticed the frantic dog and followed him to find Tom, barely conscious and shivering on the ground. The paramedics said Max's actions had saved Tom's life. As Tom recovered in the hospital, he realized something profound. Max had shown him a love so pure and selfless, it put all his past pain into perspective. When Tom returned home, he knelt down, burying his face in Max's fur. For the first time in years, tears flowed freely. "Thank you, Max," he whispered. "You've given me more love than I ever thought I deserved." From that day on, Tom wasn't the same. He smiled more, greeted neighbors, and even volunteered at the animal shelter. But his heart always belonged to Max, the dog who taught him that love, even from a four-legged friend, could heal the deepest wounds.